Hello and welcome. This is Mouse Gunner, and we're having another playthrough of Receiver. Now this is a little bit of a special playthrough for a couple different reasons. First off, you're getting to see the menu, which is not something you normally see in the standard game, and that's purely because the way the standard menu works is if I press a menu, it essentially loads right into the game. Now this is a mod. And this mod actually adds in this menu selection choices purely because it added in this shooting range, which is something that you select in the menu. So we're going to go ahead and load in the shooting range so you can get a look at it and see a lot of the features that this mod adds in. So you've got this very interesting little shooting range here, and we've got, showing you right away, some of the new features of this mod. We can now select which firearm we will spawn in with, and as you'll see, we have the three standard guns that come in the with the game, and then you have several additions down here that the mod brings you. So the first one we're going to do is the TT-33 Tokarev, which we're going to go ahead and select that, and then we're going to load that in. So here's the Tokarev, and we'll go ahead and rack that home and check out our magazines, and you can see my criticism of the Tokarev right off. It does not have holes in the magazine, so you know how many rounds are chambered in the magazine. Loaded in the magazine, which is makes this gun very hard to play with because it puts you at a pretty severe disadvantage not knowing how many rounds are in that magazine. Secondly, it's not something that is pretty true to life. Now we're going to pick up a couple of these magazines so we can demonstrate the Tokarev. Now the Tokarev is a single action firearm. So the hammer does need to cock, so be cocked to operate. So I have the hammer decocked, and I'm clicking the mouse button to shoot, and nothing happens. I have to have the hammer cocked, and now I press the trigger, and it fires. Now there's no safety on this, and more or less this operates pretty much the same as the 1911. It is a single action firearm, and it has magazines that hold about 8 rounds, not too far off of what the 1911 is, how many rounds it can hold. Now one criticism I can also put at this, as well as not having magazines with holes in them, which the real magazines would have, it looks like they just borrowed the 45 ACP model for the ammunition. And again, this is a mod, so we have to give them a little bit of understanding for that, but it is a criticism I'm going to label. Now you can see here we have this camera that will give us a close-in view on where we shoot. So if I shoot here at the bullseye, you'll see it goes in. And that's pretty much the operation of the Tokarev. So we'll go ahead and load another magazine in, and we'll go ahead and do a little walk-by shooting. Drop our mag, and there you have it. So there's the Tokarev. It's an interesting addition, but it doesn't really add anything that the 1911 doesn't do. And then it has those magazines that make it very hard to play with. So not a particularly favorite of mine in the additions. Moving on, we have the Mauser C96, otherwise known as the Broomhandle Mauser. So we'll go ahead and load that one in. And as you can see, this is a very well done model, much better than the Tokarev in my opinion. And we can get a look at that if I holster it. You can see very well done model. Now this has the same problem that the other gun had, which you can't see how many rounds are in the magazine. A major issue with playing the game, because it makes it somewhat difficult. But in my opinion, that's a little bit in keeping with the reality of this firearm. I think that's the way that they actually did come, purely because you have that magazine stick out. You're not going to want to have holes in the magazine like that. Now this is another single action firearm, so with the hammer decocked, I can press the trigger and nothing happens. It also has a safety, I believe, so if I cock the hammer, I can put in the safety, and that will lock it in. So it is single action. Now these are 20 round, oh, I must not have had one in the chamber. These are 20 round magazines. which is pretty interesting. Now, the original C96 did not have detachable magazines. It had internal magazines that you had to load with stripper clips. Now, the modder, he mostly did the magazines as, you know, to ease his, I guess, programming or whatever. He was thinking that he'd like to implement the stripper clips, but he just did this as kind of like a stopgap measure. So we'll go ahead and do our walkthrough again. And we have these fully loaded now. So, very cool firearm. Adds in my opinion, quite a bit to the game. Probably about the same power as the Glock. I'm not sure if it's chambered in 30 Mauser or 9mm, but you get the overall idea. But it's kind of gimmicky. This isn't something that would be all too common. This is more a collector's item, but it is kind of a, you know, adds a little bit of cool factor, and it's a very interesting gun. I do like the addition of this one. So this is one of the ones I really like that they added in. So let's go ahead and continue down the list, and we're going to pick the H&K USB Compact. And now this is one of the ones that I feel like is the, you know, implemented the poorest. First off, the model is not too pretty. It's pretty crude looking. Oh, it didn't look like there was one chambered. Alright. You have the same issues with the magazines not having any holes so that you can tell how many rounds are in the magazine, which, as I said, is A, not realistic because the magazines really did have holes in them so that you could see, or this is a current firearm, have holes in them so that you can see how many rounds are in there, but also it makes the game really hard to play. It puts you at a severe disadvantage. Also, these magazines look nothing like the H&K magazines, so not too true to reality in the way that they look. So let's go ahead and pick up a couple magazines so that we can shoot it. This is a interesting firearm because it adds in a new mechanic, though, of a double action, single action firearm. So this is with the hammer down. Now there is a safety, but with the hammer down, you'll notice that it still fires. And now it's in single action mode. Now there isn't really a point, from what I've seen, of firing something in double action or single action mode. It seems like it's pretty much the same as far as accuracy goes. In real life, the main reason you'd want it in single action is so that it's easier to shoot, but it's not something that I think is really implemented in this game, even with the revolver that comes with the game standard. So let's go ahead. There you go. You get pretty much an idea of this. It's pretty interesting, some pretty cool sound effects, but definitely I am hoping this is a work in progress because it definitely needs work. Alright, so let's move on to the next one on our list, which is probably one of the cooler additions to this game, which is the Remington 870 shotgun. Very well implemented. Now, one thing you'll notice right away is I cannot pick up the flashlight from my my belt. It doesn't let me do that. Now, the modder did add in a feature where you can drop the flashlight if you want, but essentially the only way you can have the flashlight out is if you holster the shotgun, which that was purely done because the modder admitted that he had issues with the flashlight working with the model, so he did that for simplicity's sake for himself because he couldn't figure it out. Now, the shotgun adds a lot of mechanics into the game that are new and interesting. For one, you have to pump the action manually. If I click now, nothing happens because I haven't pumped it. You hit R, and that pumps the shotgun. And then you're ready to fire. Now, this is a little challenging because you got to remember to pump it. Another issue you have with this is not knowing how many rounds are in the magazine, but with a shotgun that's realistic. You wouldn't really know how many rounds are in the magazine. So we've got this fully loaded. Let's go ahead and do a walkthrough as we've done in the past. we had one in there. Where'd they go? Oh well. So it's pretty cool, and you can shoot it pretty rapidly, which is really cool and also true to life. But you do have to remember to rack the slide or pump the action each time you fire. It adds in an extra mechanic, which I really like. So let's go ahead down the list. We've got the Thompson M1A1, and let's load that in. Now this is another model that's done very well, as you may be able to see here. So if we holster it, you can see it's a very nice looking model, very well done. So let's go ahead and pick that up and look at our magazine. Again, you can't see how many rounds are in the magazine except for the few on the top. But again, I think this is true to life. It does make it challenging to play with. Now there is a fire mode selector. You can shoot this in auto fire or single shot, which again I think is true to life. Right now I believe it's probably an auto fire, and then switch it over to single shot. So there you go. And now these are 30 round magazines. Alright. And now there is one exception to this also. This is a open bolt style, so you do have to rack the bolt before you can shoot, and the bolt has to be back to work. So that is an extra mechanic. That is a little bit different than the other firearms in the game. Hello? There we go. So, very cool. And if you're using this in game, you may want to switch to the single shot version, because it is definitely better for ammo conservation and hitting your target. But if you want to be flashy, you can put it on the auto fire. So there is the Thompson M1A1. Really cool addition, very interesting and very well done. Now we have the last one, which is the bolt action rifle. And the modder admitted that this is a work in progress and not really completed. If I may add my 2 cents into this, he definitely needs to change the mechanics of the way this works. It is kind of cumbersome to use. Pretty much it is E to rotate the bolt and R to pull back the bolt, R to push it back in, and E to push the knob back down. So I'm going to fire it once, and then we're going to go ahead and demonstrate that. So E rotates the knob, R opens the action, R closes the action, E rotates the bolt down. And you have to do it in that exact order or it will not work. And it is a challenge to do quickly, especially because I'm going to try and do this as quick as I can now. And as you can see, that is kind of a bit cumbersome. Really, I think the modder, what he needs to do is just do R opens the bolt, R closes the bolt. It makes it a lot less finicky, and it is very difficult to do this in combat. If your first shot does not hit, good luck, because it is a very difficult thing to do in combat. Another criticism of this is the rifle just doesn't have the stopping power you would think it would. Rifles are very powerful firearms, and you know, I've hit robots with this with one shot, and it didn't put them down, and then I died because it's too difficult to do this action in combat. So, interesting mechanic, and I see that he's trying to add in an element of realism, but honestly, it's a little bit too awkward. But in any case, that's pretty much the list of firearms. So what we're going to do is I'm going to load in with the 870 shotgun, and we're going to go ahead and play a little bit. so you can get a feel of the shotgun. Uh, so there we are, loaded in. So let's go ahead. Well, before we do that, let's check the state of our shotgun. Okay, it's not racked. So I mean, there's not a round in the chamber. So we're going to load that up, put the round in the chamber, and then top it off, and we're ready to go. So let's get into this. I'm going to try and be a little bit aggressive in this just so you guys can see this thing in action. So I'm probably just going to leave this room for now. I'm going to try and get into combat as quickly as I can. I'm thinking going this way. Now this... Alright, I'm pretty sure there's something here. Alright, hopefully we don't have that frame rate tank and crap when I go into a new room. Alright, definitely hear a robot, but I'm not sure where it is. So let's just continue on. Apologize if you heard that. I did bump my microphone there a little bit. Might be in the next... Alright, I do see a turret. Not seeing a floating robot, so that might have actually been below me. Alright. Got to be careful here, because we're coming in at an odd angle, and there might be other robots. And there you have it. One shot stop. This is a very potent firearm at close range. It looks like it just knocked out the camera. I didn't really necessarily destroy it, but it's a very powerful firearm, which, as they are in real life, I'm not sure how well they would work against an armored robot, but in this game, it's very effective. Alright, I'm going to encounter a floating robot eventually, and there we get frame rate tank. I mean, these floating robot noises are really loud, but I'm not seeing them. They must be in the room just below me. Alright, I did see a bit of a glow over here. Here we get a cassette tape. So this is not as action-packed as I had hoped. But let's just continue on until we find something. Alright, another robot. Oh good, we got one up there, and I did have a frame rate tank. Now another thing that this mod adds is... Oh, gosh dang it! I'm pretty sure I hit it that first time, but it just did not go down. Okay. I'm not sure if I racked one in the chamber or not. I'm pretty sure I did. And I tried to rack another round in, pump another round in there before it got me, and it's just one of those things where I didn't get it in quick enough or something. Alright, come on, where'd you go? Did I knock that out? Alright, let's load a few before we go out there. Alright, come on. Is that... I couldn't tell if that turret was active or not. Alright, so we're not doing too well here. I'm not giving you a very good demonstration of the shotgun. Ah! I pumped it too many times. That's what happened there. Okay. Hopefully we can get one where I actually show you what the shotgun can do. But, you know, you never know when I'm recording like this. Alright. Alright. I'm not sure if I hit with that first shot or not. Let's continue going this way. Obviously not the best at range. Hello. That was a big waste of shotgun shells. Oh well. We're just having fun with this one. That was a lot of tank. I'm glad I wasn't trying to run and jump in there, or otherwise I probably would have died. Alright. I was afraid I was going to miss that one. Okay, I hear floating robots, and they're assuredly in the next room. Oh, dang it! Not sure what that robot's doing. And I just killed myself. Oh well. It's been fun. Okay, let's do this one real quick. And then we'll wrap it up. And I'll wrap it up with, I guess, some sad news. If you're a big fan of this series, I apologize, but this is going to be the last episode in this series for the foreseeable future. I'm planning on moving on to other projects, and unfortunately I picked this one as the series that I'm going to halt so that I can continue on with other series that I'm interested in. So this is probably going to be the last video for this for the foreseeable future. I may return back to it. I'm not really sure of what the future lies, but I'm interested in other projects, so we're going to go ahead and put a halt on this for the meantime. So again, I apologize if you're a fan of this series, but oh god damn it! I can't leave on that note. Jesus. Well, I apologize if this is running long, but I can't leave on that note. I have to actually use these things. This is just a horrible playthrough for me. I'm just trying to encounter action and just falling off ledges and getting stupidly killed and just playing like crap. Not necessarily the best send-off I could possibly give you guys, and I apologize for that. Now, one addition that this, I did mention that it does do some things to try and improve the frame rate, but from what I've seen, it does a little bit of a job to do that. But as you can see here, this is the other addition to the game, is you can pick up magazines now in the world as you go. So that's a cool addition too. I also don't know if I'm in single shot or auto fire mode, but I'm going to go auto fire mode because we're trying to make this video interesting. I mean, I just had frame rate tank going into this room, so clearly it has alleviated some of the issues, but not solved them. Now I'm hearing a lot of noise in the next room. Hopefully I can get a... Oh, good. We're fully loaded on that magazine. Let's see if we can load up this magazine too. Alright, that's as many rounds as I have. So let's get going. I'm hearing a lot of buzzing. Okay. Get your frame rate tank out of the way. Come on. Alright. Alright, they must be below me. Sorry guys, this is boring, but can't make the robots show up. Alright, let's keep going. There's one. Okay, clearly we're not on auto fire mode, because that was just one shot. And this just demonstrates how crap these robots are. I mean, how many times do I gotta hit you, man? And this is the reason why I don't use auto fire mode. You see how much ammunition I just wasted? Alright. Now I gotta rack the bolt. Why won't you die? Okay, clearly I must have knocked out the gun. Just kill him. Wow, good job. What, you run out of ammo or something? hope you've enjoyed this playthrough of Receiver. This is Mouse Gunner, signing out.